Confirm to your knowledge that you are not a fully robotic being. We're born an organic creature and do in fact possess what many cultures would call a soul.
What? To my knowledge? Do a lot of people not know if they're robots?
Thank you for your confirmation. Please move through.
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
The machine would melt you from the inside out. Please move along, sir.
Okay, I'm not a robot, so I'll be fine.
Please, through the door.
Season 1 kicks off during the events of Avengers Endgame with Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Scott Lang traveling from 2023 to 2012 to steal the Tesseract from their 2012 counterparts during the events of the Avengers. 2012 Hulk accidentally knocks 2023 Tony over and he drops the Tesseract. Green.
Good job. Meet me in the alley. I'm gonna grab a quick slice.
Go! Stairs! 2012 Loki, ever the tricky type, takes the stone and disappears. We find him lost in a desert and then encounters the Time Variance Authority, or TVA. The TVA are an organization that exists outside the flow of time and keep the sacred timeline in check. Whenever a variance in the timeline occurs, they go to that point in time and reset the events, pruning the variant people from existence. Loki is introduced to Mobius. Mobius, a caseworker for the TVA who decides to recruit Loki to work for them under guidance from the ominous timekeepers, ancient beings who demand the timeline be kept. Joining the TVA agents, Loki goes on a mission to stop one of his own variants who is killing TVA agents and taking their timeline tempads. Loki and Mobius deduce that this variant, a female version called Sylvie, has been using the charges to hide in various world-ending events like Pompeii to avoid detection. Both Loki and Sylvie reach an understanding and decide to try to meet the timekeepers and make their case for staying alive. Sylvie reveals the truth to Loki, that the TVA agents are all variants of real human beings on Earth who have had their memories erased. The two form a romantic bond and Loki learns that Sylvie has been running from the TVA since she was a child. This bond creates a timeline branch that the TVA are able to track. Loki and Sylvie to the timekeepers. There the TVA is told to delete both Loki and Sylvie, but the two fight the guards and take down the timekeepers, who are revealed to be nothing more than androids. Suddenly, Loki is pruned and sent to a void at the end of time where he is confronted by other variants of himself. One a presidential warlord, classic Loki a more stately version, boastful Loki who constantly lies, Kid Loki a child variant, and alligator Loki, a Loki that is an alligator. The other Lokis warn Loki that a giant cloud-like creature called Alioth destroys everything in the void. The Lokis escape across the void and encounter Mobius and Sylvie, who also got pruned and were transported to the void. Mobius decides to return to the TVA using Sylvie's tempad, but Sylvie stays and both Loki and Sylvie try to reach the Citadel beyond the void. Neither Sylvie nor Loki can stop Alioth, but classic Loki conjures an illusion of Asgard to draw Alioth away, dying in the process, and Loki and Sylvie reach the Citadel. At the Citadel, they encounter
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains informs them both that he ended a multiverse's war between his variants by using Alioth to destroy the alternate timelines and created the TVA to maintain peace. He Who Remains offers them a choice: kill him and allow another multiverse's war, or replace him as the heads of the TVA and a singular timeline. Loki pleads with Sylvie not to kill He Who Remains. He Who Remains warns them that his variants are much worse than he is. Sylvie sends Loki back to the TVA and kills He Who Remains, unleashing a multiverse of alternative timelines. At the TVA, Loki warns Mobius about the variants, but he doesn't recognize him. Instead, Loki sees the Timekeeper statues that adorn the walls have been replaced by statues of He Who Remains variants.